Well, William.
Hi.
The metal god is, you're well known, or so well known. I wanted to take opportunity today. I mean, we're basically on a place where you have so much history, and this is so near and dear to you, and just all the memories you have and whatnot. And you spent a lot of time up here,
many decades,
tossing metal, along with everything else you were doing. But I want to kind of walk through it. I mean, you were fishing, you know, one of your classic old glass rods. You got an Abu Garcia 5001 series left-handed retrieve baitcaster on here. It's not like a high-speed reel.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
And
as a matter of fact, I don't want a high-speed reel when I'm spoon fishing. I want the current to push the lure along. The faster I grind, the more it spins and rises. So actually, a slower retrieving reel is better for metal.
That makes sense. Let's talk about the rod, length of rod, the type of blank it is, and why you prefer it.
Well, this is as old school as you could ever imagine. Back when I worked for Lamaglass, they said, how do you want your rod designed? I said, I want something that feels like old school glass. I want that whole rod to move so I can feel that. I can feel that, not on the spoon moving, but because the whole blank wobbles and moves, it allows that lure to move so much more imparted action that you get from something from like stiff graphite.
Yeah. The stiff graphite doesn't really, I mean, this rod, see, I'm watching you throw these spoons today. It telegraphs that all the way down to your handle.
It does indeed.
Right? You can see it.
Right.
Yeah. What's the length on that rod?
This is a good old-fashioned 8.5-foot rod, which is, if you were born as we were even before that, if you fished back in the 60s, 70s, even up into the 80s,
that was what we had.
You had an 8.5-foot rod.
Can I use a 10-foot rod to throw spoons
You
nowadays?
can use a 12-foot rod.
You can use whatever you want. Right.
But I would recommend 9.5 to 10.5 is about perfect, because you want to hold line up out of the water. You want to gain tip speed when you cast for distance and longer presentations and bigger hook sets and more cushion. There's whole reasons to use rods that are a little bit longer.
Back in the day, you're using monofilament because what we had. Right. And but nowadays you're good with braid. Yeah. You have a top shot on there of mono?
I do. This is fishing in high def. What you're doing now. Before, the soft mono and whatnot, when you would hang up on the bottom, you would not even know you were hooked up, and all of a sudden, oh my God, there goes my lure. Now I can feel that spoon, because of the braid, just go tick the bottom, and I can bring it up. I lose 1/20th as many lures that I use.
There's no stretch. The telegraphing is instant. You do have a little bit of stretch and give in the top shot of mono, and you got a lot of give in the glass and the rod, right? It's kind of like kokanee fishing.
It is indeed.
Right?
You see, the outfit I use here, even on my higher end stuff, is really close. I use a 40-pound braid, 30 or 40-pound braid, something that's still fairly thin, you know, but I like something that's got some jack, and it helps transfer the feel a lot better. And for the bumper I put on there, the top shot, I'll use 8, 9, 10 foot of 15 to 20 pound test.
Right. And we're tying directly to you top your spoons off with a barrel swivel onto a lock ring.
Yeah, on a number 5, number 6.
And then you tie directly to. You're not using a lock swivel of any sort to put through the top end of that spoon and fish.
No, it's a good old-fashioned swivel, just stuck on the split ring. That's it.
What size hook you running with that?
Oh, that right there is a 2/0 Siwash.
Does it vary with the weight of the spoon, or it's because of the profile of the spoon that your size of hook choice is pretty much always the same?
I looked at what size of fish I'm targeting. Like out here, my next cast could be 30 pounds.
Right.
You don't know that.
You don't know.
No one comes up to you, by the way, and taps you on the shoulder and go, the biggest steelhead you're going to hook in your life is going to be on your next cast. You don't know.
Never know.
You got to have tackle that's going to take care of that, right? And that's what that is. That's a 2/0 Gamakatsu Siwash, and there's good ones from BMC. So a lot of guys, I do it too. I'll put a swivel in between there, and for certain types, like Coho that like to twist, and for whatnot. But for just good old-fashioned use, a 2/0 standard issue long shank Gamakatsu Siwash works just fine.
Got it. Yeah. And you prefer the old glass with the cork handle?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't need to.
You don't need to. You have any newer rods that you're fishing? I mean,
I got all kinds of great new stuff, and I love it.
You just love to go back to this.
This brings me back.
It's all about the feel, right?
And it brings me back to a time. My uncle told me years ago, he goes, you want to know what it was like back in the day? Use the tackle of the day, and then you'll know what it feels like. You know, I like the way it feels. It brings me back, and I feel like I'm fishing in the 60s, and wouldn't that be fun?
You think?
I think so.
What I want to do is I want to talk choice of water.
Okay, yeah,
Not
yeah.
yet. Choice of water.
Well, okay.
I want to talk about spoon colors and choices. We're going to talk about conditions,
Ah.
cloudy versus sunshine,
Okay.
and why we're choosing the colors we choose or the metal finish that we choose,
All
right?
right.
And I may have mentioned it, but the weight of the spoon.
Right.
How are we selecting the proper spoon?
Well, you see the size of this water here?
Yep.
This is big water. I got to throw a long ways. I got to get down fast, okay?
Yep.
And the water's clear. I know my fish are laying deep. I'm using a 2/3. Pretty heavy lure, right? If I'm fishing smaller water, say summer run or small water, I'll go to a 2/5. I don't
Hold
have
that
to
thought.
get down as much.
Hold that thought. We're going to jump out for a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, we're going to talk about size of water, metal finish choice,
Okay.
size of spoon as in weight. Really break it down for you. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
We'll jump back here with Bill Herzog. More on spoon fishing after the break, right here, Fish on Northwest. All right, welcome back here to the river, and of course, Bill Herzog. And so, before the break, I kind of started alluding to, let's talk about this choice of water right here.
Right.
This looks like fantastic spoon water.
It pretty much is. Now, the idea is that you want what a spoon does when you present it, you're sweeping it over an area. Now, when you get these big, wide areas like this one, for example, that fish could be all the way to that break way over there to 20 feet in front of us, anywhere in between. Now, if you're fishing normal, you break it down to a grid, cast, cast, and then move on this way. I'm one cast, swing, using the attraction radius of that flash.
Right.
I work that area, move down 20 feet. I can fish this 3 or 4 times faster than any other.
And you're covering water.
Right. And
you're really like searching for fish with this thing.
Yeah, it's a great searching lure.
Yeah.
Great searching lure.
So let's talk about
Finishes.
Finishes,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Now you see here
Some
we
of your
got
standard options you go with.
All right. Ed Eppinger, who made the Eppinger spoon, the Daredevil, when they sold his colors company, they made 2,200 colors of spoons. He goes, I bring 2, brass and red and white. You call it good.
Yeah.
Catch all I want. That's
Right.
what for steelheading. If I only had 2 choices, it would be copper for clear water, be it cloudy or bright. I go copper for clear water. If I've got color in the water, I'll use silver plate.
Right.
And that's it. It's all about your presentation, and where it goes is far more important than your color.
How'd you come up with the 50-50?
Well, way back in the day, Steelhead chapter guy Gene Creighton, rest his soul.
Yeah.
He found a spoon that he got from New York that he used to throw in the Puyallup River, and he showed me back in 1980. He goes, I found this half silver plate, it was made in New York, in Seneca, New York. I take this down to the Puyallup, but I've never seen them hit steelhead hit like these, like anything like these. So I thought about it when we made Pentac. He goes, what do you want to make? And I go, I want that 50-50, I want that half and half spoon, because you think about the trolling lures that the commercial guys use.
Yeah.
What do they use?
Yeah,
50-50 stuff, right?
yeah.
And that's their favorite. When you throw a Dick Knight for Coho, what's the best color?
Yeah, 50-50.
50-50. So
it's been around forever.
It has,
right?
and,
Been around forever.
Steelhead really do like it. And as long as I think they do also, it makes
if you
it
got
the best.
confidence in it, makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
I think the 50-50 works so well because you have 2 different metal finishes there. So your spectrum of what it fits within, watercolor and amount of light coming from the sky, whether it's sunny or cloudy, right? So you've widened that spectrum out, and I think it's conducive to fish between all of those versus a narrower set of margins, so to speak.
A lot of the greatest fly fishermen ever, when they tie their flies for steelhead, will use different colors and contrast. They said there's got to be something in that fly that they like.
Right.
So I'm going to show it to them. So
There you go.
they like the silver, they like the gold. We give them what they want.
Okay, so when I'm selecting size or weight of spoon, again, break that down for me.
Okay, like you're fishing smaller water and then laying in riffles and shallower stuff, 2/5. Okay, that covers a whole lot of stuff. When you go into bigger water, deeper water, you got to make longer casts. 2/3 is your ally. It helps you get down, helps you reach, and you're fishing a lot more effectively.
Okay, so cast that out there
right.
and then kind of talk to me a little bit about what the rod's doing as it's performing and how you know that spoon's fishing correctly.
Now, rarely do we ever throw upstream unless you want to get it down really fast in a deep spot.
Yeah.
Most of your casts are going to be right across from you, straight out like that, straight across, okay?
Yep.
Now my mind's eye is telling me, okay, that thing is sinking. Now it's just about I can either feel a tick bottom or I know I'm close, I'll reel up. Reel till you feel, okay? I pick up, now see that rod tip start to bounce?
Yes, sir.
Now it's working. See the cadence?
Yep.
It's fishing perfectly. I'm just kind of turning my body and letting it swing and bounce. See my line is moving? See my line bouncing? That's what you want to see.
Another good reason to use the high vis line.
Yeah,
so you can watch that line all the way to the.
And you'll know when it starts to slow down. You'll feel it ticking, hitting bottom. Bring it in, take a few steps down, do it again. And
if I had too heavy of a spoon on as it's going through the swing,
it'll hang up.
It's hanging up, hitting bottom and stuff. That's a good indicator.
Or too light, you don't feel bottom at all. Or your rod is really, really humping, and your line is tight and taut. That means it's up and spinning. No good.
How often should that spoon contact bottom as it goes through that drift?
Oh, well, ideally, never.
Okay,
If you kind of have an idea how deep it is, and it's like, remember the attraction radius that you have right here, those things will come up for you. If you get it down close to the deck, within a foot, 2 feet of the bottom, you're in business.
You're in business.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much A to Z.
Pretty much. Well, we could do this for 3 or 4 more hours.
We could talk.
We could all talk about line angle and spoons and mending and all this stuff, but they'd be asleep and it'd be dark.
Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you bringing all your toys on this trip with us this weekend. This has been fantastic. So I'm waiting to see you lock up with a fish on that thing.
If I can find one,
we'll watch it happen. All right, sounds good. Appreciate it, buddy.
Right on, man.
Excellent. We're going to jump out for a quick break. We'll be back in studio right after this.